Greetings, fellow space miners. Radamant here. Thank you for tuning in to the first episode of a new series covering Drill Core. If you would like to skip the game's overview, please use YouTube chapters. Drill Core is a strategy game where you build mini roguelike colonies as you exploit the resources of various planets by drilling towards their cores. While you exploit resources, you have to defend your mining platform from waves of enemies and keep your mining company alive, at least long enough to make some profit. Greetings, new Drill Core Division Manager. We would like to congratulate you with your first step into a world of great opportunities and even greater challenges. You are now an important part of the rapidly developing mechanism where every successful mission is yet another brick in the building of our great future and annual report. Your task is simple. Select planet modification contracts and bring them to a successful completion. The way you do this is up to you. It is not our way to dictate conditions because every Drill Core division has freedom of action with the demands of our contracts, of course. Contracts with a greater level of complexity will become available to you as you show us results. We are confident that you can pass these challenges with excellence, as your bonus is as much at stake as the fates of the planets. All resources extracted over the course of fulfilling the contracts are entirely at your disposal. They can be spent on upgrading your division, which is something we strongly recommend you do. Remember, your success depends on your preparation, not random chance, even though luck also comes handy sometimes. Drill Core Corporation, building tomorrow's galaxy one core at a time. We can't wait to hear of your first successes. P.S. Don't forget about the main driver of your business, profit. All right. So at the start of the game, we hit play, obviously, and harder difficulties are currently locked. I have to pass Novice Borer in order to unlock the harder ones. Complete contract on difficulty to unlock the Core Engineer difficulty. So this is Shadavar, a magnetic field correction. We face a dire situation on our home world. Our ancestors settled this planet without realizing the long-term consequences of its unstable magnetic field. This anomaly has begun to affect our navigation systems and disrupt the migration patterns of native wildlife crucial to our ecosystem. So what we need to do is we need to get to the target depth of 150 meters, or 3 by 50 meters, and I will get rewarded. Before this gets a little too complicated, there are different resources over here, yellow, teal, and purple. They have names, but I'm just going to call them yellow, teal, and purple, which are not part of the roguelike, where you get to keep them, and they're your upgrade material. So before we start this, if we go to the upgrades here, upgrades grant access to new mechanics and simplify the completion of contracts. All upgrades are permanent, meaning once an upgrade is acquired, it will always be active regardless of your current platform. So we unlock the upgrades here. This is the upgrade tree with the resources we collect on mission. So like the first one, for instance, is that guards, which usually work only during the day, will also work at night, shooting enemies as they approach. Before we accept this contract, it's important to go through qualifications. Qualifications. Before starting a contract, choose up to 2 qualifications. Completed qualifications grant you access to new technologies. Unlocked technologies will become available to you during the contract and can also be selected as starting technologies in platform presets. If you do not complete the qualifications, there will be no consequences. So these are sort of bonus side objectives, but I highly encourage people to do them. So, what we need to do for the contract, for instance, is let's say reach the depth of 250 meters or have 10 iron on our platform by the end of the contract, have at least 10 workers, or build 24 buildings. And then the rewards, of course, is a blocker, a turret expander, a drone station, and an explosive catalyzer. So the explosive catalyzer, every such building improves the attack rate of all explosive type turrets by 10% of their base value. The drone station sends drones to automatically attack during attack waves. The turret expander increases the range of turrets. And then the blocker creates a foam block. I am just going to more or less arbitrarily select drone station and turret expander. So we're going to try to have 10 iron at the end of the contract and have at least 10 workers at the end of the contract. 2 of the easier contracts to fulfill for qualifications. And I am not going to be playing on faster gameplay, which would speed everything up. I'm going to be playing nice and slow to explain what I'm doing. Now, if you don't like your contracts, you could always roll them, but it requires a currency I currently don't have. Additionally, there's other things to unlock called divisions, and we'll get into that in a little bit. But let's start this contract.
Platform stable, equipment is intact. We have successfully landed.
Okay, before I start, I'm going to pause and go over the UI. So top left, you have core durability, how much health your core has. If you run out of core health, your platform explodes, you lose. Some caveats, there are some upgrades that allows you to not lose, but let's just say you lose. The current depth. So we are currently at 0 meters down, and we need to get to at least 250 meters. But generally speaking, planets go deeper than what is required if you want to just continually gather resources. Now keep in mind that as time progresses in this game, the enemies get stronger and tankier. So spending a very, very long time trying to hoover up every single possible resource becomes increasingly more difficult as time goes on. Now, above that, we have the resources for building. This is not resources that you get to keep at the end of runs. So iron is your primary building resource. Then you have swarmlet, which is like a rare resource, and coal. And coal is the resource that allows you to drill down. Coal really only serves that purpose, whereas iron and swarmlet is for building and upgrading stuff. Then you have lunarite, galaxium, and warpstone, but I'm going to be calling it yellow, teal, and purple because honestly their names don't matter. In the top right, you have how many people you've got. So we have 2 miners, 1 carrier, and 1 guard, and a maximum population of 4 with a current population of 4. The current time, it's day 1 in the morning. And then if we hold enter, we start drilling.
Drilling confirmed.
Bloody death. Thank you for the cheer. Togador and Roy and Variance and Steel Boot, thank you for the resubs. All right, even more information. So let's get rid of the ones I have already read. If the button surrounded by these symbols... Oh, yeah, okay. So here, as we are 50 meters down, we have build points for turrets. And as you can see, they are not symmetrical. That's kind of important. Mouse wheel zooms in and out. In these spots, we can build turrets to defend ourselves. Basically, the gameplay is divided into day cycles where you exploit resources and night cycles where you defend against swarms. Very similar to like the swarm mechanic of Deep Rock Galactic, for instance. On top of that, our mining platform itself has building spots here where we can build buildings in order to expand our capabilities. Like having another barracks, having a research lab, having a foundry that makes metals, so on and so forth. Now, below that, we start mining. And at the start of every drill, you only can mine the center blocks here as you go deeper into the ground. And there's a finite amount of resources between each wave. And the idea, more or less, is to exploit as many resources as you can and to obtain 6 coal. In order for us to drill deeper, we need to obtain 6 coal. There might be more than 6 coal on a level, but there's not going to be a ton more. So the push is sort of like a grind for resources as the enemies get stronger, trying to balance exploiting resources with actually defending your platform, because if you don't build enough turrets, you die. But if you don't have enough industry, you can't afford to build turrets, you die. On top of that, if you double-click a path, it's marked as more important for your miners. Use this with caution, only because one miner over here, told that something else is important over here, might stop what he's doing and spend a lot of time traveling to it. So make sure when you do priorities, you're not just doing them willy-nilly. And then right-clicking cancels the mine entirely. You can queue up anything that's in the, like, the, let's call it shadow zones. But not all blocks are mineable, and we'll get into that in a minute. Q does double time if you want to go real fast. Sometimes I do that at night, but I almost never do that during the day because I like to actually control what I'm doing. And then if you hold left control, it will show you what kind of block it is. So this is a hard block. Now, control doesn't show you the resources that are within the block, but I'll explain what those resources look like in a minute. So let's get started. Right at the start here, what I want to do is I want to build a barracks because I want more than 4 people. And then immediately I'm going to get another miner, which costs me 1 iron. To the left of that, I am going to get a factory. A factory will periodically make iron over time. So it's a way to get iron income. I don't think the factory gives you a lot of iron, but one thing that it can protect you from is the case where all of your miners somehow die, and you have no more miners and no more access to iron to hire new miners. In that case, if you didn't have a factory, you would have to destroy a building and refund the resources in order to hire more miners, but a factory allows you very gradual income anyway. All right, on top of that, in the highest 2 spots of the turret spots, your first 2 turrets are free. As you can see in the top right there, first 2 turrets are free. So I'm going to build a machine gun turret on the left and a machine gun turret on the right. And they have ranges that don't reach the other side, so you need, 1 turret on each side. All right, and down we go. And we are looking primarily for iron. So this is what coal looks like, the sort of purple ore. And this is what tech looks like. Tech will unlock new buildings for you on a run. And generally speaking, there's more tech higher up in the upper levels. So we're at like 50 meters. There's going to be more tech at 50 meters than 250 meters. Generally. And as soon as I get a little bit more iron, I'll probably go for another driller. Now, the 3 that you have, your miners mine, they do not move resources. Your carriers carry resources from the mining spot back to the core so that you can earn it. And then guards protect your miners from threats down below. Later on, they can also be upgraded to protect you from threats at night as well. Okay, so some special blocks. This is a black hole. Black hole blocks occasionally select a block within 2 cell radiuses, or radii. The spatial rift is shown above the selected block. The rift sucks in whatever occupies that cell. If the block contains ore, it will be dropped after the black hole is destroyed. Black holes aren't particularly threatening, but they can suck your miners or carriers or guards in, so you should be cautious about standing on the rift itself. But black holes can also be useful because they will do some of the mining out for you, as long as you are cautious about not affecting their pull. And then this here is a hatch block. It creates a monster crack in something in a radius of 4 blocks, and will spawn a monster to attack you if it's not cleared. And at higher difficulties, it does even more of that. Okay, we just cached one of our first tech pieces. And I'm going to have you guys vote. Left, center, right. So the left one is an automatic turret. Deals much more damage to enemies with HP greater than 65. Effective at the top of a mine shaft. So it kind of like whittles down healthy. Night shift post. Night shift post releases 2 soldiers with jetpacks to go fight for you automatically at night. And then exploder. Activate a nighttime ability. The building explodes to do massive damage to all enemies. Basically, it's a oh crap button if you have failed in some way. Additionally, we could re-roll, but I'm not going to be re-rolling. And it looks like center is by far the most popular. Got it.
The bigger the mineral, the bigger the bonus.
All right. So here we have some iron.
Lead the way to the minerals.
You know what? This black hole's now in my way. And I just clicked a button that cached the factory in. And in the factory, I'm going to get yet another miner. So I'm getting rid of the black hole because it's
Here I come.
blocking me. And a reminder, we need to reach a depth of 150 at least, have 10 iron in the base at the end of contract. You can cheese this one by just like refunding stuff right at the end if you want to get that iron, and then have at least 10 workers at the end of the contract. So we're up to 5 workers now. We're about to get our 6th.
Let's see what the depths have for us today.
All right, I'm gonna get a second carrier.
Digging duty.
This is what Swarmlet looks like. This sort of like pink block. And that's more coal, so that will be your second piece of coal. Now, another thing to note, in the top right, as you can see, time of day. It is a circle, and when it fulfills, it becomes nighttime, and it becomes possibly unsafe to be underground. And I'll explain that once we get a little bit closer to that time. Oh, there's another tech block. And then this is an upgrade material. So over here, we have a soft block, which is also a monster spawner. So there will be a monster spawning here. So what I can do is I can click it as a high priority block so that we slow or stop the spawning of the monster in that one spot. Now the monster spawner, this block, is going to create another one, but at least it buys us time
One down there. I'll find it.
to be able to clear the hatch block. All right, night is approaching. At night, monsters will start coming into the mine, driven crazy by the energy of the core. Don't forget to order the workers to retreat before night starts. And in order to do that, you would hold R, and it forces all your workers to very rapidly retreat back to the platform. And I'll only do this when I think I must, because sometimes you get kind of left alone at night. So we'll see about that. All right, the next building I want to build here is the laboratory. And the laboratory allows us to get tougher workers, workers that move faster, workers that mine faster, or workers that shoot better. We'll be working towards those upgrades soon.
Let's get digging.
And here's another hatch block, so we know that there's another, or a monster spawner. We know there's another hatch block nearby. All right, first upgrade I'm going to get is jetpack speed. And that's going to help our miners and carriers move to where they need to be more quickly.
Let's show them profit.
And here is the threat at night. So at night, you get these like worms that will go from either left to right or right to left and kill everything in the path. Now this first worm spawn is going to be below where I have explored. So it's really not much of a threat to me. So I'm not going to evacuate just yet. Now up here, we also have the enemies coming in. And these are cliffs. They're small, low speed, easy to kill. First wave, as long as you've built your 2 default turrets, should be pretty easy to clear.
Clocking in. Clocking in.
Morning has arrived. Resume your duties.
All right, I didn't even evacuate at night. I just stayed down there. I didn't need to leave. Next thing, I'm going to get hand drill upgrades. Now, if I wanted higher level upgrades, I would need another lab. Knowing that one of my priorities here is more workers by the end of the contract, I'm going to start to grow our company even greater. Now, here's one special block, a sand block. If there's no other block underneath it, the block will fall down in a few seconds, dealing damage to all creatures in its way. What it fails to mention is it will also trap whoever it lands on. And they'll have to be, if they survive, and they'll have to be mined out of that block. So you got to be careful about what you allow to land on you. Now, if we kill the hatch block, the monster won't spawn out of here. There we go. We have another tech block. Oh, here's a monster. Spawned anyway. And here, the guard is fighting the monster. But the guard is won. Good. Alright, there's obviously another hatch block over here. And here's what happens if you prioritize. All of my miners, all but one, basically stop what they were doing to come over to this monster spawner. And I didn't even get there in time. The monsters spawned on me anyway. So as you can see, if anyone gets attacked, any of your miners get attacked, you end up retreating back to the core. So in this case, I can either repair my core, the 0 damage it has, or have my workers move faster. It's kind of an obvious one. I'm going to move faster. All right. When you fill up your platform, you're allowed to build up. One thing that's important to note is buildings become more expensive the higher up they go. So really expensive buildings should be built low if possible. With that in mind, because this is like really early, I'm just going to go ahead and not worry about that. But just want to let you know.
Let's dig into this.
Alright. So I have 5 miners and soon to be 3 carriers, and I need 1 more guard, 2 at the very least. Alright, here's another choice. Machine gun turret catalyzer. So every such building, all the machine guns, if I build this, all the machine guns that I have will have an increased rate of attack. We have a laser turret, which shoots lasers at enemies in a huge radius. If the target has less than half their HP, it does extra damage. And then Guardian Laser. The Guardian Laser will attack any underground monsters during the day when they get spawned, and it works once every 65 seconds. There's essentially 3 types of weapons. There's like bullets, explosives, and lasers. And generally you want to kind of like focus on 2 of them. Because if you spread out your upgrades to too many types of weapons, they're not going to be particularly powerful. So it looks like we're going to get the lasers. Got it.
I'm paid per mineral, not per hour. Let the transportation commence.
Oh, so this is a situation where the black hole was going to suck up this miner. So I told the miner to stop mining here so that he wasn't trapped. Oh, and there is our 3rd piece of coal. All right, next person I hire is going to be guard. So we're going to go with 532.
Show me where to start digging.
Now that I have soon to be a full roster, I'm going to get another laboratory, because I would like to upgrade the jetpack speed and mining speed even more. Oh, and here's an instance, oh, get out of there, of the sand falling. And here is a miner that got trapped in the black hole anyway.
Clocking in.
97, team.
They survived it, of course. Alright, I should also likely get another weapon. I'm gonna try to save up for a laser. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna get a night shift post.
Ready to protect my king.
Alright, the worm is coming on this level. So as long as I stay above this level, I should be safe. But the worm might change the elevation levels afterwards. So this is the night shift post. These are dwarves with guns flying around. They don't themselves get attacked. There is some special ability. Oh, I should have hid that. There are some special abilities which will cause your turrets to be attacked, but not like damaged in that way. They'll be like webbed to slow down or whatever. But generally speaking, the monsters only want to attack your core. Oh, time to evacuate.
We need everyone back to the platform.
That worm would hit us.
Quickly.
Not worth the risk because, you know, for every dwarf that dies, we have to replace them with iron, and that gets expensive.
Daytime. Let's find those precious ores.
All right, the issue with mining this tech block is it's going to land on us. I recognize that.
Let's dig into this. The bigger the mineral, the bigger the bonus.
All right, so we have a tech block. Let's see. I'm going to get rifle upgrades so that my guards do more damage against the things that try to attack us down here. We're up to only half of the coal we need, so I suspect there's a lot more coal yet to be revealed down here that we're going to need to continue to find. Kadaf, thank you for the resub. And Uko too, if I missed that.
Show me where to start digging.
Okay, we have another choice here. Choose a technology. So the block revealer you can use during the daytime, and it will reveal like I think it's a 5x5 chunk of stuff, removing the fog of war. And the synergy turret increases the reload time of the turrets around it. So it has like an area of effects. And you guys can choose which one I go for. Synergy. Got it. Alright, let's go ahead and save up for synergy turret here, speeding up this one and that one. Also, to note, now that this entire row is done, I can spend 2 iron to build upwards, because we've filled our bottom layer row.
If there's ore down there, I'll find it.
Oh, don't get sucked in. Now, if I hit R, it would have them retreat. I was just hoping to destroy that black hole before it spawned anything. The same was true over here. I was hoping to destroy the monster before it spawned as well, but I didn't get it in time. Alright, synergy turret. And then below the synergy turret, I want the laser turret. So the laser turret and the synergy turret are both stronger as a result. Ah, our 5th piece of coal. Getting kind of close to that coal completion.
Clock it in.
And we need 2 more iron for the laser. The game suggests that you build like roughly a turret a night to keep up with protection demands.
The night is upon us.
Which isn't a terrible goal. Oh, here's the last piece of coal that we're required to get. But I would like to try to get as much resources from this tier as possible before we depart.
Jetpack charged.
All units retreat. Night is upon us. Get to safety.
And we'll be able to see the laser. Now, in this wave, we have larger, slower moving, but larger and tankier enemies. These Cliftons. Not Clifts. But they got handled pretty easily.
Morning call. Return to the mines.
And there you can see the worm. All right, choose another technology. Here we go, left or right. So left is the laser station. It's a nighttime ability and it releases a ray of damage that deals... It's basically a super laser that you can use on cooldown. Or rocket watchtower, which is sort of automatic. You build it and it just like periodically launches rockets towards the enemy. And we're going to go with lasers. Copy that. And I'll endeavor to try to build one before too long. Just so that you can see all of the different types of abilities we have available to us. Ooh, another tech block. Alright, I officially have enough coal to drill to the next level. Oh, here we go again. We're getting a lot of tech blocks. So left is a grenade launcher, which it launches a cluster of small grenades, good for area of attack. And right is a rocket launcher. It's a long-range ability, which does a lot of damage. Rocket launchers it is. And I'm just doing, like, flash polling. We don't need to wait too long on this.
Let's get digging.
Now, if I wanted to, I could decide to drill down right now, but I want to exploit even more resources from this layer before we leave, before depart. So, just for a comparison, I'm going to build up and then work on getting a rocket launcher.
Digging duty, here I come.
We have a whole bunch of tech blocks to be grabbed, and there's probably a hatch block back here, maybe? Because I know it's been hatching stuff on me, so it's got to be somewhere. Oh no, I don't know where it is. Huh. Alright. I'm going to choose this one myself. Building prices are cheaper. Costing 1 less iron. That would be really, really, really helpful to have. So now there's no more resources for my miners to drill out. So what I can do is I can mine the path blockers. The blocks that are slowing us down. So mining out these so we can get to these resources faster with the carriers would be smart. What do the stars mean on the star choices? So these are like the rarity of the buildings. Alright, I wanted to get... I'll get the laser station. That one's fun. Having nighttime and daytime abilities is like... I would say I suggest at least having one of each. Because the abilities... can be very powerful. And I'm telling my miners to retreat now. There's no reason for them to be down here. We're just waiting for the carriers to finish up.
Night is falling, team.
I'm going to decide to potentially abandon... Oh, here we go. I'm going to potentially abandon the resources here because it's not all that important. I don't want to be here for an entire day to collect those resources. So I'm going to tell my platform to drill down tomorrow morning. And in this case, I'm going to get the drone carrier and make that decision myself. So I'm holding enter to drill next morning. And it's always next morning that you will drill down. How do you heal your people? That's something that you do later on. For now, they just die. They don't get healed, they just die. So there we go. We have got the laser and the rocket. And now I have 2 nighttime abilities to be able to fire lasers and rockets. Oh, retreat.
Head back, everyone. Night creatures are emerging.
So here's the laser. Pretty nice. And here's the rocket. And as you can see, these nighttime abilities can help you to, if you have any, like, pain points in your defenses. Like right now, our left side is a lot weaker than our right side, and I can compensate easily with that with these nighttime abilities. We are now at 100 meters. Identical buildings improve some parameters of their work. Read the descriptions. So in this case, like if I built another factory, it would make iron more frequently. If I built another laboratory, it would allow me to yet another level of upgrades, so on and so forth. Also, you have random events up here. So the random event right now is a meteor shower. Meteor showers are safe for the platform. So basically, the meteor showers are going to be raining at night, hitting enemies, but not us. And you can tell if it's positive or negative given the smiley face and colors. So we have 1 coal left over from the last drill, so we only really need to find 5 for this wave. And I think the next upgrades I want to get are going to be the speed in drilling again. Am I doing the attacks or is that part automated? The nighttime abilities I'm doing, but the turrets themselves just fire. Later on, you get the ability to like tell the turrets what kind of targets they should target. But I don't want to get into that because, you know, it's not relevant right now. All right, upgrade. Let's get jetpack. There's the hatch block. Thank you for tuning in to Drill Core, which originally streamed live on Twitch. If you have any questions about the game, let me know in the comments below. If you would like to catch a live stream of mine, Rodamont.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you would like to join my online gaming community on Discord, Rodamont.com has a link to it, as does the description of this video. Thank you so very much for watching. Special thank you to my Twitch subscribers, Patreon patrons, and viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits. Thank you so very much. I hope to catch you next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, fellow space dwarves.